Hello and welcome to another episode of the CULTRAS Football Podcast. I'm James, I'm joined by Fionn and Michael, and today we are joined by very special guest, star of You and Riverdale, the magnificent Chris O'Shea. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, lads.
No.
First question off the bat, have you told Penn Badgley about Paul Konchesky?
Yeah, he is a sports fan, but no, I've kept the Romford Roberto Carlos. I haven't mentioned him.
I've also got to ask, how on earth did you find us?
Well, as you probably know, James, you're blowing up on the gram, and the algorithm, which now has my interest down to a T, has found niche Premier League podcasts that specialise in this era and are showing you to me on a daily basis.
Well,
no, it's a pleasure for us to have a real star on the show.
The real star is obviously Freddie Canute, and we all know that.
Yes, phenomenal. I've just got one quick question to ask you as well, Chris, before we go in. Obviously, an acclaimed actor, and I want to ask you about your most famous role. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. In the bookshop.
The most depressing thing about that is that's a mistake. I wasn't in that. That's just some other actor.
Really?
They keep putting on my thing. Yeah, I wasn't an extra in that. No.
How did they link you to that then? Have you ever found that?
No, never found it out. Tried to take it away loads of times. Somebody's trolling me, keeps putting it back on there. Like, no, nothing to do with me. Yeah.
That's absolutely devastating.
Let's get into Harry Redknapp and his chamber of Barclaysmen.
Phenomenal. I'll go straight. We're going to have a little bit of a fun one at the minute. I recently acquired the Match Annual from 2008, and upon opening it onto the second page, we had a lovely article about if a football club would be a pop star of the time, who would they be? So I'm going to go through and everyone have a quick guess. We won't do them all because that's just time consuming, but we'll chuck a few in and then I'll name them all off. So we'll start with Arsenal. Fionn, if you want to go first, what pop star would Arsenal be according to the Match Annual 2008?
Tempted to say Gary Glitter, but we won't go there.
I'm notorious for playing the kids in the Carling Cup.
I've called Pep Guardiola a terrorist today, so I'll refrain from that on radio. Arsenal, they're mainstream, aren't they? Mainstream of the like. Oh wait, I'm saying razor shite. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Chris?
Mainstream. Yeah. Don't offer much in 2008, do they? Although, in fact, no, yeah, they do because they're in the Champions League final. Hang on. Hang on. I've got that wrong.
Oh, I thought you said Razorlight. I thought we were locking Razorlight in.
Oh, well, I've said it.
I've
said it. I can't be bothered thinking about another landfill band. Razorlight. Have it.
Chris?
What am I doing the same team?
No, Arsenal, yeah. What?
Yeah. They're quite tidy, and they keep it on the floor. Quite mainstream in their appeal. Is it now? Do you know what? I'm tempted by Backstreet Boys, but that's not 2008, is it? That's more. Yeah.
In the 90s, it could be a reasonable guess.
Yeah. No, do you know what? Yeah, all right. I'm going to stick with either Westlife or Backstreet Boys. Somewhat, vaguely inoffensive. Yeah, they're gonna win things. Yeah, go on, boy band.
Okay. James.
Nope, James.
I think he's either shocked or gone.
We'll wait for him. We'll edit this. A magic of editing. There he is.
So just in this brief pause, can I make an impassioned plea?
Of course.
So obviously the Barclaysmen. I love the show. I mean, I watch it every time you guys put it up. Oh, I reckon it should start in about 1993. I know you like to guys pitch your tent around sort of early 2000s, but if you do that, you miss out on all of Cantona, all of Letitia, all of Hignett. The list goes on.
Interject in a wonderful way to excite you there, Chris. I actually run a YouTube channel myself called Relive the League, which is 90s based. So currently in the 92-93 season, we have all the games and all the highlights with our own commentary over the top of it. And Eric Cantona's just signed for Man United from Leeds on episode 18. The production quality is that of a dad trying to talk into a microphone and doesn't know how to edit episode 1. By episode 90, we've actually made a decent show of it, in my opinion.
Am I right?
No, we don't even need to edit. We don't even need to edit that now. That's a perfect segue. That's a perfect advert.
All right then.
Am I right in saying, Chris, you are a Liverpool fan, but generationally West Ham?
Yes, mate. I'm mixed. I identify as mixed. My dad was taking me to Upton Park up until about 2009.
Some good Barclaysmen in there.
Oh, mate, there's some crackers. There's some crackers. Canute, the thin end of the wedge.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Well, Freddie Fionn was a Canute regen, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
How did you feel about the 2006 FA Cup final then?
This is the one where we played. Good. Is that the one where we beat Arsenal with Michael Owen scoring in the last knockings?
That's where Liverpool West Ham, Gerrard.
Oh, the famous Gerrard final. So yeah, that was a difficult one. I'm sat there in my university dorm room with the lads watching it, and there was you really know who you support in moments like that, because I think I lost the ability to speak when that goal went in off Gerrard's right foot. My powers of speech deserted me. In those moments, you really realise you don't support West Ham, no matter how much family history there is.
That's what football is, isn't it?
That is it.
I watched. I didn't get to watch that game because I was working Saturdays on the fish counter at Tesco's, and I managed to sneak up in time for penalties. Anyway, Jim, what band are Arsenal?
What band are Arsenal in 2008? I think
be pop stars, not bands.
Well, if you cast your mind back to 2008, the Brian Eno produced "Viva La Vida" by Coldplay, which is their best album. I'm talking Violet Hill. I'm talking the title track "Viva La Vida." I'm talking "Strawberry Swing." The fun twist here is I hate Coldplay, but I think Arsenal are Coldplay.
Yeah. Well, you're all going to kick yourself because according to the Match Annual 2008, and the reasoning for this is phenomenal, Arsenal would be Eminem.
What?
Because 5 years ago they couldn't stop anything, but they haven't been the same force over the last couple of seasons.
Well, Eminem getting pelters in 2008. That's shows the length of the decline.
Yeah, totally.
We'll move to Liverpool for James and Chris's benefit. So what band or artist would Liverpool be according to Match Annual 2008?
Jamie Webster.
Isn't just artists from that time. They have the spectrum.
I think 2008 we were edgy. We were pushing for the title. We were still
Champions League.
Yeah, still.
Season after losing it.
So 2005. Who else had their peak in 2005? I'm going to say Arctic Monkeys. You know.
Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, very cool.
What about you?
I'm laughing because I know the answer and I can't wait to read the explanation out. But Fionn.
Go on, Chris.
Well, no, Chris. Whoever.
Fionn, I think it's you, mate. I'm going to. Do you know what? My football knowledge isn't what's doing me here. It's my knowledge of music from
Yeah. I'm gonna go controversial. I'm going for sound of 2008 in my head. Do you remember that girl called Little Boots who had that one song?
Boots.
Yeah. Remedy.
There we go.
Of course he knows.
Yeah.
Mr.
I was stuck between either Little Boots or Pixie Lot. I'm going for.
All right.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm tempted by. Lily Allen had a bit of a moment around then.
Oh.
And yeah. But also sort of that a very contained moment, and she dropped off the radar quite quickly after that and had her Hodgson phase. So yeah, Lily Allen just because of her Hodgson phase.
Right, well, I'm going to shock you. According to the Match Annual 2008, Liverpool would be ABBA because they were awesome in the 70s and 80s and still do really well in Europe, but they haven't been number one in England for years.
Oh. That's for you, Match Magazine.
Yeah. And then we'll finish off. Then we'll only do the three on this, and then we'll go back to general chit chat. But we'll finish off for Fion's sake with Middlesbrough.
Oh God,
Chris, do you want to go first with Middlesbrough?
Oh God, what? Do you know? I almost like to think that Arctic Monkeys wouldn't be a bad shout for Middlesbrough. You know, working class band, had some quality. I'm thinking of the Ravanelli, Juninho, Emerson, Hignett days.
Hignett.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go with I'll go with Arctic Monkeys for them, or even the Kooks in a sort of weird way. I'm not.
James is getting flutters speaking.
I am getting flutters.
James next, yeah.
Oh, this is tough. 2008 Borough. Jeremy Aladier, Alfonso Alves.
Yeah.
Almost dry heat. Oh.
Do you know what? I'm going to go out on a whim.
Alves.
And I don't know why, but I think this is a pre-umbrella Rihanna. Rihanna had just released Honda Replay. She'd released Honda Replay. She'd released
She's
SOS.
just let through. This is pre-umbrella Rihanna.
I think it's Rihanna.
Fionn.
This very glowing things of Borough, but I'm going to go two options, right? Maximo Park, because they're from Borough. Or in 2008, I'd go Dizzy Rascal because Gareth Southgate's tactics were bonkers.
Hey! Well, no, again, let me shock you. Middlesbrough, and you might be able to explain this, Fionn, would be the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay.
Because there was lots of hype about them 2 years ago, but after losing the star performer, things aren't looking too good anymore.
No. Was that Fergie? Did Fergie leave the Black Eyed Peas then? Well, there you go. But they had the Black Eyed Peas did have that song where it was like it was so beautifully ill-conceived, where they thought, well, let's have in the opening lyric of this song, I'm so 2008, you're so 2000 and late, as if that wouldn't be immediately dated. Yeah, well,
I'm going to make like Black Eyed Peas, and I'm going to shut up and give it back to James.
Very good segue.
Yeah.
I've always been with the sort of the rise of Ted Lasso and its popularity, especially amongst America, and like sort of watching Americans get involved with the Premier League. Whilst you've been filming or whilst you've been in LA, has any sort of fellow actors or just people approached you and sort of asked you questions about do you feel like a kind of spokesman for the Premier League, Chris?
Yeah. People who don't really like football love Ted Lasso, don't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you watch Ted Lasso, it's almost designed for people who don't really find football very interesting, which could be a good sort of metaphor for Americans in general. They know with the Premier League that something interesting is going on. They know that maybe they should like dip a toe in it. I remember when I first visited LA, I went to see Beckham play for the Galaxy.
Wow.
And, obviously the crowd's full, but it's very different from going to a Premier League game, because one thing is, as you will all know, having sat in an English football stadium, is the entire crowd, there is a sense that we're all reacting to the same thing. A shot narrowly misses, the whole crowd goes, ooh. In that stadium on that night when Beckham was playing, you got the sense that nobody was really watching the football. It was sort of like something you go over, you get something to eat, the football's still going on, but that's sort of a background thing. You're really here just to have a chat. So long story short, I do talk football when it comes up, but I do really believe that they don't really get it.
Yeah, I think there's something like, I think it's to do with like the lack of adverts, because when I started first watching the NFL or something, it was like I remember going, how many adverts are in this?
Yeah.
It's almost as if it's a sport designed entirely for that concept.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? For a nice dystopian vision of the future, just like in the NFL, if there's not been a break in long enough time, they have a TV break. They go, right, you've been playing too long.
Yeah.
Right. Imagine that in the football, just goes out for a throw-in and just wait for the Hovis ad to finish.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
The replay brought to you by Calgon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, just everything replay. The ball boy brought to you by Power Gen. Like,
I tried to dip my toe into American sports. I went to an ice hockey game, went to the Kings game, but I couldn't take it seriously. The chants. Like, is everybody here lacking in imagination? Like, defense. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no insinuations made about either his sexual orientation, his physical appearance.
Invite a family to these events.
There's no horrible insults about his physical appearance, or perhaps someone in his personal life. That's not.
Look, I don't know how overshare we're allowed to be with this show. But I learned some very important lessons about anatomy from going to West Ham in about 1998. I won't tell you exactly what I learned, but maybe you can infer it. Beckham was playing for Man United, and that West Ham fans were chanting, how rude are we allowed to be here?
Well, look, as rude as you want.
Yeah, you can be as rude as you want, mate.
Does she take it? Does she take it? Does she take it up the arse? And I turned to my dad, and I was like, Dad, what did she take what? Like, what is what? And I just remember he stoically just didn't answer. Eyes straight out, nothing.
It's not the time.
Imagine that in America. Hey, guys, that's someone's daughter. That's someone's son, guys. Come on.
Let's have some.
Does she take it up the arse? No, yeah, it doesn't quite work the same. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it is funny watching MLS commentators describe a overhead kick as a 180-degree kick.
There's something so jarring about it, innit? When it's just like, what was it? Oh yeah, somebody replied to us with something like, oh yeah, it was a good thing we quoted, and it was like, oh, hey man, like when a goaltender saves a penalty shot. What? Yes. That feels like, and they score the rebound. That feels like so unfair to me. Goal kick that shit. No, no.
It's like that one friend who in the group who, like, if there's a trend, sort of joins in but a bit too late. Like he's kind of got the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or everyone's got Pokemon. It's like, yeah, you trying, mate, but it's one day you'll get there. One day you'll get there.
James, I can already see your American tour. There's 5 minutes in this.
You can get that sorted your end, Chris. We'll get on the plane and come and support him.
There's no deal with the LA Metro Star.
There's no James, though, I don't think we personally should be talking about the fading out of trends, so as not to speak into existence.
Well, speaking of trends, we are trying to create our own Barclays 11.
Sponsored by Sky Bet, apparently.
From the Barclays era.
Thieved by Sky Bet.
We did have the winner, by the way. Did you see the winner of the goalkeepers?
It was Ali Al-Habsi for goalkeeper.
Right. Oh, I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. And I thought we were going to.
Who was left back?
Right back, James.
Right back.
Right back's number 2. You can't have a left back number 2.
Right back is going out tonight.
Okay, right. So Ali Al-Habsi in goal. Today we are discussing centre backs. We've each chosen some centre backs, Chris included, to put forward for our Barclays 11. So who'd like to go first?
I'll go first because I'm sure some of them will get thieved. So, Paul Sharner, first and foremost.
Wow.
Haircut. These are alone. I don't need to say anymore. He had about 700 haircuts, different colour hair every week. And then didn't he do something where he put Wigan or something in his hair, which is just West Brom.
Yeah.
Superb. I always admire a man for being so cavalier with hair dye. Like, so you flirting with baldness there, Paul, but well done. Paul Sharner. Emmanuel Pogatetz, because he was a psychopath, and any footballing psychopath is like there's at least if you Google like Pogatetz on Google Images, you see there's a different one of like him bleeding. There's like 3 or 4 different ones of it. It's just his head pissing blood, and And like, I think Mike, you were asking me about something we were doing, and he went, "Oh, is it from the same game?" I was like, "No, it's from like 3 different games where he's giving himself permanent brain damage." And number 3, even though I'm just over, I've just done a Borough play, just done a hero of mine, but my all-time centre-back Barclaysman, Linvoy Primus, walked the length of the for some Christian. He became a born again Christian, which is funny enough in itself. And he walked the length of the Great Wall of China with Joel Ward, which is like a Channel 5 show.
Yeah, Channel 5.
For some charity thing. So Linvoy, and apparently it says on his Wikipedia personal page, because he's well into the older Christianity, apparently he can speak in tongues. It says Linvoy Primus is able to speak in tongues. So
you've got to have a hobby, don't you?
Wow, what a freak. What a way to start things.
I'll chuck my 3 in next, if that's okay, into the mix. My first one is a Colossus, and I double-checked the dates because I wasn't sure if he was a bit after, but he did play in the era, and that's Jonas Olsson.
Oh.
Proper centre-half. Again, similar reasons to Pogatet's, apart from he liked to look after his hair and put it into some nice bobbles. But a proper tough old centre-back. You weren't getting the ball off him. And that, for me, is what a centre-back should be. And that is also the exact same reasons, but not quite so much for looks, with my second choice in Breda Hangeland.
Oh, yes.
Great shout.
Great shout.
His face, a bit like Pogatet's again. He looked like he'd a few battle scars about his person. And the third one, I think, just has to be in this in some way, shape, or form, just for the pure comedy reasons alone. I'm choosing Titus Bramble.
Lovely stuff.
I found a lovely. Go on.
So I was just going to say very quickly, Matt, before you reminded me along the way there of the most insulting piece of football commentary I'd ever heard. Not a Barclaysman, but in the 2014 World Cup, I'm pretty sure it was Clive Tildesley. Like Giorgio Chiellini put a horrible tackle in, and he went, "Look at Chiellini there, majestic defender, with a nose like a map of the Adriatic coast."
Wow. I mean, I love the man, but come on, mate. Come on.
Sorry, an interesting stat about Titus Bramble. In 2000, I think I've got the years right, might be wrong. 2002, 2003, I think he was at Ipswich, and he was voted the hottest prospect in England, centre-back wise. And after his first season at Newcastle, the following season, he was voted worst player in the Premier League. So,
well, comes to us all.
It comes to us all. And that's my 3 entries into the centre-back position.
Chris, do you want to go next?
Thank you, James. I appreciate that. I'll be honest, I've forgotten who I chose, so I'm gonna. And I kind of want to protest and pick players who fought earlier in this, because I reckon, it's still the FA Carling Premiership for me. So Philippe Albert, whatever.
We will allow it.
We'll allow it.
Philippe Albert, one of the early sort of cultured centre backs. I don't know whether I'm saying that because he could actually play the ball, or whether just he was French or Belgian. I think he was Belgian. Yeah, well, showing exactly how uncultured I am. I'm then going to go Radi Jaidi.
Oh,
wow.
Goal-scoring centre-half. Scorer of some of the ugliest goals I think I can ever imagine. When Sam Allardyce's plan used to be going in off Jaidi's knee. And to finish, I'm going to go with Darren Peacock.
No, he was mentioned before, Mike, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was
a man with excellent hair. Useless as a centre-back, I think.
Yeah, he ran like a bit of a donkey.
But it was an era, and
that's how defenders used to be. My dad always used to say when I was a kid, when the positions, he always said centre-backs are centre-backs because they can't play football.
Yeah.
and that's gone now. So they play like tricky wingers, don't they?
Yeah, James Collins made a similar point in his podcast, I thought, very eloquently.
No. he's a proper Barclaysman as well, Collins.
Yeah. I went to when I went to see Liverpool v West Ham in 2013. West Ham deliberately. I think Allardyce might have been in charge, and West Ham were deliberately time wasting, and James Collins kicked the ball out, went over and picked up his bottle of water, and my dad stood up and shouted at him and went, "You are a liability, Collins. Get back on the pitch." And everyone looked at him as if to say, "What the fuck are you on about, lad?" Yeah,
it was Sam
they're
Allardyce,
great
Jim,
choices.
It's my favourite genre of shout, that though, the football. Like this, especially we're going to go into non-league. We're going to go into Vanarama here for a second, but when I go watching Altrincham with my dad, there's like
sponsorships.
no. There's two genre of Altrincham shouts. There's like the South Manchester scum, like me. Who go like there was one. The best thing about them is that you can hear the players can hear you. So there's just we used to have this striker called Kyle Perry, 6'5". He missed a few games one season because he was arrested for a suspicion of drug dealing. Cleared though. But he used to hit it miles over the back fence, and there's like posh houses at the back of it. And then there was one guy just went, "You're a fucking cart horse, Petty," and then he turned around. He turned around after he heard it. And then there's the second genre of alti shout, where it's the posh dad, and it was like there was I think it was like we was hanging on late in the game, like into injury time. The referee just kept they kept getting corners, the other team, so he just let them kept taking them instead of blowing the whistle. And then went out for another corner. He just heard some dad go, "It's not in the spirit of the game."
People.
There's your centre backs, Jimmy.
I have gone. First off, I've gone Ian Desvai. I think the
That's
first.
Ian Desvai for anybody.
Dazoo.
Oh yeah, okay. About to say
Arjan Dazoo.
Phonetically, I think he's one of the first names in any Barclaysman.
I've in the World Cup twice by accident, didn't we?
Yeah, I've probably gone for a bold choice here. Not a bold choice, sorry, a common choice here. But 182 caps for Wigan, 5 goals. 106 caps for Portsmouth, 5 goals. I think he played for both Portsmouth and Wigan in the prime Barclays era.
Was it Barnsley when they had the season in the Premier League as well?
Which makes him kind of immortal Barclays-wise. This is why I've also picked him. Since retiring, he's become an investigative detective for the Alkmaar police.
There's Chris. There's a Hollywood idea, if there's ever been one. Detective Dazoo on the case.
Roaming the streets of Alkmaar.
What I'd love.
How good your Dutch accent, Chris? I can see in this. I can see you as Detective Dazoo.
He walks around with a little long-haired dark labradoodle called Mario Melchior.
Yeah. He says his favourite method of proving criminals wrong is through small samples of DNA. I mean, that is pretty much your bog standard way of proving someone's guilty. But yeah, I would love it if he was sort of crowd control on an away day, like in Europe, and a Wigan fan is getting arrested by Highlanders. Secondly,
I loved you at Wigan.
Yeah, please let me off. I thought you were massively underrated.
Down, Melchior.
Yeah.
Down, Melchior.
Imagine trying to get off by just naming players.
Figaro, officer. Do you remember him?
Figaro. Friends with Daniel DeRidder.
Yeah. If you'd have extended Portugal's contract, there might have increased an opportunity to bring in better players. Secondly, I've gone Younes Kabul. Now, he just seemed menacing whenever I used to watch him. Like sort of bad news written all over him, but in a really good way.
Redknapp boy as well when he was always at Redknapp.
Yes, he followed Redknapp, sort of the Pied Piper of Spurs and Portsmouth. 100 caps for Spurs, 6 goals. 39 caps for Portsmouth, 4 goals. And yeah, just seems to have that tenacity that I love in a centre back, where it was I will ruin this whole match day by getting myself sent off, and you will lose 4-0.
Win it in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. The bettor's favourite Younes Kaboul in many ways. Also, if he said if he didn't play football, he would have played tennis. So an
all-rounder.
Yeah, an all-rounder. Thirdly, and finally, I've gone for George Elokobi. Wolves, known for his time at Wolves, 85 caps, 2 appearances for Wolves in the Premier League. I just remember him being an absolute juggernaut. He scored against Man United in the League Cup. They lost the game, but it was a proper typical sort of, like you were saying before, Chris, sort of like Carlingsman / Barclays defender goal. Obviously, now known for his management career with Maidenhead, got them to the 5th round of the FA Cup, which no one has done since Blythe Spartans in 1978. Also, we mentioned Ted Lasso earlier. He was the choreographer for Ted Lasso to get the actors in sort of the rhythms and patterns of playing football. He was one of 4 footballers, along with Jermaine Pennant, Jay Bothroyd, and I can't read my own writing there, which is a shame. But they're the 3 players that we used in Ted Lasso.
If you're a choreographer on Ted Lasso, please leave it in the comments. Were you Adrian Mariappa?
Imagine, Chris, if you were in a sort of a football-based drama or comedy, and there was a scene of you on the pitch, and I don't know, Freddie
Jermaine Pennant's come up and he's like, no, here you go, mate. Here's what you've got to do.
Yeah. That must be the absolute dream.
Yes, mate, I suppose it would be to be able to get paid to play football without ever having been good enough to do it for real. Yeah, no, that would be, I think I'd do beautifully in Ted Lasso, actually.
Yeah.
It's quite common, isn't it? They always seem to cast people who don't know how to kick a ball or run in notably
because the people who make the show have you guys should make a show about football. It would be hilarious. You should make the real Ted Lasso. The one that's actually about football.
Just a fucking a Barclaysman, just starring Nico Kratja.
Yeah.
We should do it the other way around. We should get footballers who can't act.
Was Northern Rock the shirt sponsor on the film Goal?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Goal.
Crazy.
Yeah, Santiago Munoz he couldn't. That's my favourite line from Goal as well, because you can tell it's written by a Newcastle fan, because at every opportunity somebody says Newcastle, that's a big club. That at every opportunity, and then as well when obviously whoever's on the script supervision didn't say, like when he says, you mean my dad saw my goal against Fulham? Not quite what you say, it sounds
No, off there. Just right there. Off.
Yeah. Yeah. Where was the dialect coach? Where was the dialect? I watched that film in the cinema with my mum, and she took me to watch it. And there's a bit where he scores a free kick against Liverpool, and we walked out of the cinema and she went, "What did you make of that?" And they went, "Nah, it was rubbish. Hated it." He meant to root for this, sort of rags to riches story. He gets to play for Newcastle, and the minute he scores a free kick against my team, "Nah, you're all right, mate. I hope you get loaned out." We've got a good crop of defenders there, and we'll put that to. I think the fact we've introduced Carlingsman to the mix is definitely going to heat things up.
Well, I've basically thrown away my vote. I've listened to yours, James, and I've left points on the table here for sure.
No. I listen. It's as I've said in an interview with the Eye yesterday. We want this to be utopia. There's no bad suggestions unless it's Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, they're fantastic. So yeah, we'll put that on the Instagram polls, and we'll see what people think will be our Barclays centre backs. Yeah. Right, moving on. We are trying to build as well, not only the ultimate Barclays 11, but the ultimate Barclaysman. We've got the hair, we've got the face of a head, should I say? Now we're focusing on body. Who we've got. Has the vote's been cast on hair and head? We decided.
No, well, hair hasn't been voted for yet. That'll be a poll out, and then obviously the head will be going in after the next episode goes out. But we're moving on to body and build now. I'll chuck mine off very quickly because I've gone all three ends of the spectrum in regards to this. Again, I'm only picking this for selfish reasons because I really want to see this player photoshopped. So the first one I'm going with is the stocky runsman with Jonathan Walters.
Jonathan Walters once told me to fuck off on Bold Street. I was 18. I was doing charity fundraising for Amnesty International. He's walking past with a load of like a bit of fancy shopping bags. I went, "Excuse me, mate, we got minutes for and then you get used to being told to fuck off." And then he went, "Oh, fuck off." He was on the phone. He went, "Oh, fuck off, mate." And I went, "Hang on, you're Jonathan Walters. You've definitely got a few quid."
Of course, he's from the Wirral, so...
Don't you care about human rights, Jonathan?
Whoa. Don't slag off the Wirral, mate. Come on.
I had to get it in, sausage. My next one for build is Peter Crouch. Because again,
you...
Have I nicked one of yours?
Yes, you have, yeah.
Again, because if I'm thinking back to head and hair, we had shouts for Ivan Campos' face, Ivan Campos' hair. I'd love to see Ivan Campos' hair, Ryan Nelson's face on Peter Crouch's body. And now we're going to the other side of the spectrum, and I pulled up the list of the shortest players to ever play in the Premier League, and I picked the only one that played in that era, and that's Sean Wright-Phillips. So again, Ryan Nelson's hair, Ivan Campos, face and hair on Sean Wright-Phillips would. I can't wait to put that on a t-shirt. So they're my three choices.
Chris, we'll let you go next, mate. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm going to say I want some pace, and I'm going to say the vaguely, but I also want him to be decent in the air, so I'm going to go for the sort of wiry frame of Jesper Gronkshire. Denmark, and a remnant of when Chelsea tried to buy football the first time. And yeah, I'll say Gronkshire, or I'll go. I almost want a little stockiness in there. Olivier Giroud sort of frame. And I thought we were doing face, so I've gone for Frank Kadru's jaw.
Frank Kadru's jaw is.
Because that's against the rules. No, whatever. Frank Kadru's jaw, whatever.
No, I'm saying.
That's perfect.
When I messaged you, Chris, and you mentioned Kadru apropos of nothing. Like we're best mates now, and two, I will quit this podcast if Kadru's jaw is not on right now.
Should be an open and shut case. Should be no need to involve Dazoo in this one.
Well, yeah, I know.
Lovely stuff.
Yes. You need to switch roles.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll go for my bodies. As Ted Bundy once said. Yakubu's frame built like a brick shit house. Yakubu, I'll have Zigic for another tall man. And Steve Malbron. Yeah, exactly. So I think yeah, I'm not Malbron, Zigic, and whoever else. Yakubu. There we go.
Yakubu.
The other. They all played for Pompey, did they?
Malbron didn't. Who was the other one? I'm early onset. This
Zigic in the Yak.
Zigic. No, Zigic played for Birmingham. Did it? Very similar kit.
Oh, the Yak. I love it.
Sure. You dummy.
Yeah.
Makes him
Birmingham's did have a really good Barclaysman team. They really did.
Which spell?
I should have done. I only come up with the idea of doing two-parters at Birmingham at Bolton. I'll have to revisit Birmingham.
Yeah. A sentence no one's ever said. I will release my chests to quote Davy Jones. I have gone.
Oh dear.
I've gone, well, after Crouch was taken, I'm going to sabotage this. Number one, I've got Andy Carroll. I want someone who, when the ball hits him, you have no idea where it's going to fucking land.
50p pecs.
Genuinely, yeah. Hexagonal pecs. No, pentagon, isn't it? 50p. Pentagonal pecs from Andy Carroll.
We don't have to be shit. We don't have to observe the Pythagoras.
Sorry.
Straighten that one up, Christ.
So yeah, I mean, he could score, good head with the ball, but other than that,
what's his hypotenuse? Come on.
What did he offer? Secondly, I've gone Wayne Rooney, built like a bulldog, and stocky, short, especially those sort of late noughties United days. And finally, I want a player who looks like he smokes at half time, and I have gone for the Egyptian wonder that is Mido.
Yes.
Yeah, I want someone who is pulling out a 20-pack of L&B from the shin pad and going, I don't care for your tactics. I'm lighting one up, and that's that. So yeah, they're my three.
That was like proper Andy Gray commentary. Mido there, he's going to his shock. He's taking one out. He says, "Fuck you, McLaren. I'm having half."
Tell you what, Fionn, I've heard the American accent. I've heard the Scottish accent. There's an acting career for you.
Well, there you go.
Did you hear that?
There you go.
That new hairline's doing wonders for you, Fionn.
That's my
fly me over tomorrow. You have Turkish Airlines growing. It's coming back. Fly me over tomorrow, Chris. I'm yours. I mean, whatever you do.
Turkish Airlines. He said,
what an offer!
That's my first class degree from University of Salford, drama and performance in tatters there. But yes, great. Great.
I'll be starring in Ted Lasso, James. I'm afraid.
Hey, look, anyone can be good at football. Now, we'll put. I think we've got. As always, an excellent diverse range of players there. Be interesting to see what people go for to. I'm just imagining
to build this Frankenstein.
Mido's body, Frank Woodrew's jaw, and Freddie Youngberg's hair.
Well, regardless of what happens, Frank Woodrew's jaw is going on.
Frank Woodrew's jaw's in, locked in.
And I'm looking at it right now, and boy, is that thing symmetrical.
Your Google history is something that should be published, James.
Yeah. I am this by schooling me. Why at 1507? Why were you googling Frank Woodrew's jawline? Anyway, lovely stuff. Right.
Sorry, lads. Quick question. You know that football chant? The player's name comes at the end of dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what name comes out for you at the end of that football chant?
That's a question, and
that's a great question.
Only one answer, is there?
Luis Suarez.
I've got. There's a few Borough ones in there. I can't think of, but for what I can remember, one of my, you were saying before, Chris, about asking your dad what taking it up the arse is when directed at Posh Spice. My similar moment for that, well, I think it was about 12, was Borough had a play. This is a firm Coca-Cola empowersman, Nicky Bailey, big ginger. Big ginger. It looked like he would have worked on the door at like Middlesbrough's third best nightclub. And but like it's so like it was you're the love of my life. Nicky Bailey, I'll let you shag my wife, and then that was my first. We're allowed to talk about what's sex, Dad? Nicky Bailey's gonna shag,
One name to interject that to answer your question, Chris. It's the first name that springs to anyone's mind when you do that, and it's Jemba Jemba. So
Jemba. Yeah. I'm trying to think of ones I've heard. Yeah.
When Liverpool signed Paul Konchesky, the song Barbra Streisand by Duck Sauce had come out, and someone in my school went, ooh, 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 ooh. Paul Konchesky. And it gathered nothing, and rightly so.
But surely,
Imagine
lads,
singing that with the flags.
do. Dexter Blackstock.
Oh, Nottingham Forest's finest.
School at our
sure.
own game.
I'm trying to think of the. There was a great one I've just forgotten, but never mind. I'll be back.
One of my favourites was the Southampton fans singing "Ah, Klaus in the middle of defence." Klaus Lundekvam.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I love a bit of that.
We had as well La Bamba by Gypsy Kings. I talk Caranca, Diego Fabrini for Amore Bieta, and it just went like that. All the foreign players we had at the time, like 2012. I talk Caranca, Diego Fabrini, Amore Bieta. Wait.
I think it was Stoke Borough had one that was Tun Chai Chai Huff Huff Abdullah. Yeah.
I can't say I remember that one.
If you can sort of crowbar Kajagoogoo into the stands, you're onto the winner there. Right, Chris, what are we on to next? Mike, sorry, what are we on to?
Chris is taking the reins. So last episode we accidentally stumbled upon a game which we're going to carry on. It's slightly altered a little bit. I look at the stats from one season. Last week we found the game with the most bookings and we went through. This season we're going on a little trip back to 2011, 2012.
Oh, too recent.
Two is not, because there's here. There's 4 players tied for the lead on most yellow cards with 10. And there's 4 players tied for the lead with most red cards with 10. So if anybody can name the most, like Fionn won last week, but then was shocking at the name game.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I don't like being put on the spot. You know what I mean?
So yeah, obviously.
Don't take that acting contract from me, Chris. I can act on the spot. Just remembering.
Put them shithouses from that era right at the front of your mind. Chris, if you want to go first on this one, if you want to name someone from around that region, if he's on that list, it's a 1-0 point to you.
Sean Davis. He was a right clown.
Oof, it's a name to shout as well, but no.
I'm going to go. I've got an idea. Laurent Koscielny.
No. James.
No.
What season again, sorry?
This is the 2011-2012 Premier League season.
Okay.
4 players tied on 10 yellow cards. 4 players tied
Come
on 2
on.
reds.
Who's a walking booking?
I was in year 10. Right. Not that that matters. I've just sort of said it. I'm Daniel Day-Lewising myself.
A bit of mise en scène, James. There.
Yeah. Right.
That's the thing you're pushing for now.
I'm going to say Gail Clichy.
No. Back to Chris.
Richard Dunn.
No. Fionn.
No. Richard Dunn. Jesus. Jolyon Lescott.
No.
Good.
Oh.
Thomas Vermaelen.
No. Chris.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Micah Richards.
Oh, it's a hell of a shout, but
Played a lot round there.
He's not on either list.
Nope, Mike, you've gone. Can't hear.
I've gone.
Yeah, there you go. You're back.
I think I just leant away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not on the list. Fionn?
I nearly said who was playing for Borough then. Doesn't matter because we're in the fucking championship. 2011. Anderson.
No.
Bastard.
Is it Sylvan Distin?
No.
This
We'll
time.
go back round to Chris. Chris, I
James.
will offer you a clue for this so somebody can at least take the lead. You've probably seen his Twitter account, but definitely don't follow it.
Oh, yeah. Joey Barton.
1-0 to Chris.
Yeah. I feel like that was another one that went in off JD's knee. That one came up the keeper and I was standing in the right place.
Oh.
Still counts though, doesn't it?
Phenomenal. Joey Barton is one of 4 players tied on 10 yellow cards. One of them is quite obvious as well, but...
Oh, God, yeah, of course.
Well, 2011. Wayne Rooney.
No.
Jose Basingua.
So far wide of the mark, Chris.
Roy Keane, 2-0.
No.
Premature
He led into that one.
celebration. Retired in
I believe he played for every team worth note in the Northeast.
Oh. Julio Arca.
No.
Lee Catamol.
Lee Catamol, James is James is level with Lee Catamol. One, I don't think anyone, because it's definitely Street's I've possibly forgotten name. And I can chuck that in for you if you want to try.
Yeah, go on.
Take one.
Go on.
It's Jason Lowe of Blackburn.
No, don't do it. Oh, I would have got him.
The last player remaining on a yellow card tie is an Arsenal player. And then you have, in the red cards, 2 QPR players. One might have already been mentioned. A Manchester City player and a Bolton player.
Bakary Sagna.
No.
Clint Hill.
No. Chris.
Oh.
So I was going to go Lucas Leiva because he liked to tackle, but he was actually quite good at it. So QPR, come on.
It'd be the Lotto kit on the logo on the arm. Something Airways.
I'm looking for the Man City player, and I'm. Oh no, mate! I'm out.
I'll give. There's a collective another 30 seconds left in the game, and then I will reveal all. And it's currently a draw.
Are you passing, Chris? Because I've got.
Yeah, mate. I'm gonna have to pass for a. I'm gonna have to pass.
Neda Manua.
Oh, that's good.
Neda Manua, no.
Oh, fuck off.
It didn't work.
Habzab Zabaleta.
Papa Boubadir. But no, it wasn't Papa Zabaleta. So the complete list of 8 players is Joey Barton, Lee Catamol, Jason Lowe, and Alex Song, all tied on the same
Alex Song.
Never have thought of that.
The red cards, I said there's 2 QPR players. One has already been mentioned. Of course, it's Joey Barton. The other players involved, Mario Balotelli, 2 red cards. Jim Cisse of QPR.
QPR.
I would have never put that there. Jibril was, well, he wasn't a saint, was he? But he was never that dirty.
He gave me a thumbs up out of his car window in 2005.
It's just had one taken off him. He's off the list. What a guy. Fair play points. And the last one, you'll kick yourself, is David Wheater.
Oh.
David Wheater.
Hang your head in shame, Fionn.
Joe Barton, Mario Balotelli, all got 2 red cards.
Actually, when I met David Wheater very briefly about 6 months ago. Nice fella.
Oh, fair dues. I thought I was going somewhere there.
No, there's no story. I went, I didn't barely. So I went, all right, mate. I didn't even introduce him. I went, oh, there's David Wheater there. Hey, mate, all right.
Going with the anecdotes about former Middlesbrough centre backs. I was once on a night out in York, and I walked by the cash machine next door to the nightclub, and a bloke walked by with a couple of ladies in tow, and it was Ugo Ekiog.
Oh,
rest in peace. And I was at the time, I'd had a few shandies, and I said, "Who are you playing for now, Ugo?" He said, "I've got no one at the minute." I said, "Oh, give Rafa a call. I'll take you at Liverpool." And he just kind of looked away and walked off with his ladies.
Oh no!
Good player.
It was
what a player! He ran a record label as well. That's proper Barclaysman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Carlingsman and Barclaysman.
Yeah.
One of the few men which
crossover.
staunchly in both.
Beer and bank, but don't combine the two, otherwise you will end up in your overdraft. Wow, lovely stuff.
Yes.
Anything else you wanna fill a time with before we go to the small quiz? Or are we going straight to the
I think we do the quiz, and then we'll ask Chris at the once I've humiliated myself on the quiz and lost, we'll do just a good last 5-10 minutes reminiscing with our Chris.
Chris, a good old chat. Tell us all about the fever that we've injected right into.
Yes, I've got a question actually, but I'll ask it after the quiz.
Well, my question was useless. I'm
nervous.
No, not all questions after the Chamber of Secrets one. That's so far down.
Not your fault, mate.
So we are. It is because I trusted Wikipedia. Right then, the small game before we go into a reminiscent chat with Chris. It's a random team as always, and the team that is coming out this week is going to help Fionn a lot, hopefully, in pulling back his lead, which is terrible. Really, James is sailing away with this. So, Chris, you can go ahead of Fionn.
No, yeah, take the 1-0 lead
with a win here. The team, any player between 2010 and 2015, and a couple of years bordering either side, is Middlesbrough. Fionn's own Middlesbrough. And if we want to start with you, Chris.
I'm going to take one of the obvious ones off the table. Mark Schwarzer.
Excellent.
We'll go tete-a-tete. We'll go Brad Jones.
Oh, triple entente. Stuart Parnaby.
Oh. A four-way. I'm gonna go with their least favourite son, Adam Johnson.
I'll keep it on
the left foot. That doesn't get remembered, does it?
I'll keep it on the sex offenders theme. Marlon King.
James, can you make this a hat trick?
Oh, God, so many to choose from. No, I'll go with Stuart Downing.
Oh, you just nicked that off my toe.
You got the radish 80.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with.
Hard, isn't it?
Oh God, it's all 90s. I'm gonna go with Gianluca Festa.
That'll do. He'll do.
I'm glad you brought.
Oh, you're gonna get too far too early for me.
You just have to have played for Middlesbrough. We just have to have heard of them.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Doriver. Come on. Doriver. Underrated. Very underrated.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna go Jeremy Aliadier.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with. Did Jeremy the?
Yes,
Chelsea...
he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
You're very welcome.
Another assist.
Take it back to our other goalkeepers. We'll have Ross Turnbull.
Oh,
you're playing with us, really. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I'll mention another keeper, Victor Valdez.
Oh,
of course, yeah. Ramsden's days.
I'm going to go for some Liverpool crossover. Bolo Zenden.
Oh yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna keep going with goalkeepers. Jason Steele.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Pogatetz.
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna go with Juninho, the great Juninho.
Oh yes. I'll go for another Brazilian midfielder, Fabio Rockenbach. Oh yes. Oh yes. Fabio.
Oh, lovely.
Gareth Southgate.
Of course.
Oh. Did you go Ehiog?
Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
David Wheater, we've said him before, say him again.
Oh, all the assists are coming out.
I
think half of that list we mentioned before with the book.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Former Middlesbrough players.
Tunchai as well, having.
Yeah.
Scored against Steaua Bucharest, Macaroni.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yes, of course. We're scraping the barrel now. Borough is niche. Were they even in the Premier League for the whole time?
Yeah. But until 2009. Yeah.
He said, buying himself some thinking time for the other Brazilian, Emerson. Do you remember Emerson?
Yeah, Emerson.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember the garish figures they had on the League Cup final of Emerson and Ravanelli that were absolutely petrifying? If you haven't seen them before, we'll put them on our Instagram. Come across and check them. But they gave me nightmares as a child. I think it was 1997.
Speaking of nightmares given to attackers, Chris Riggott.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't know Riggott. I thought, I doubted Riggott.
Scored against Stour as well. Scored the best goal. Scored the best goal from half a yard.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I have failed you, Chris Riggott. I'm going to go with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Oh.
The clock has run over. We're going to go till we stop because this is a phenomenal bit of content.
Lewis Buxton, did he play?
Fionn will be able to tell you that.
I mean, Robbie Mustoe, but he's that's really turning back the clock.
Robbie Mustoe.
Fox Sports.
Okay.
It'll do.
So speaking of sports presenters, Geist Comendieta. There you go.
Oh, mate, that's a shout and a half.
That is such a shout.
No one has mentioned the man who owns a cafe in Serbia, Mark Viduka.
Croatia, but yeah.
Croatia, sorry.
God.
He's Luke. Apparently, I choose to believe it's true, because it's funnier if it is that he's Luka Modric's second cousin. But apparently they don't know each other. But they live like on the same. They live on the same street, but they don't know each other. And apparently second cousins, but they don't know each other in Croatia. So there you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, in Zagreb. There we
are. Life's an education.
There's an assist in there for you, Chris, as well. Croatia.
Oh, is it my go?
Yeah, there's an assist for you as well. A Croatia.
Nico Kranjčar?
No.
All right, I'm going to go. Kadru then. I'll have Kadru. We haven't mentioned Kadru, and he was on my list before.
I was trying to assist with Alan Boksic.
I can already tell I'm staring down the barrel here.
Oh, I mentioned him earlier from Herenveen, Alfonso Alves.
Oh,
lovely.
I'm going to get done here. This is. I think you've done me, lads. Like
Right.
Borough.
Go on then, James. Just a straight shootout.
Head-to-head battle.
Go on, Fionn, after you, sir.
Catamol. In fact, actually, put a clock on it from a minute now.
A minute from now. Right, I
Catamol.
don't quite have a minute. We'll go. Yeah, okay, right, go.
You've gone Catamol.
Yeah.
Yakubu.
Joseph Desiree Job.
Leroy Lita.
Oh. Wow. I shouldn't have said this now. Oh no. Oh no,
please.
not again. Stuart Downing's not been mentioned.
He has.
He hasn't. He has. Oh no.
He has.
Why did I say this to myself? Oh dear.
No way. Have we tamed the beast?
No, don't do this to me. Mark Viduka, fuck off.
No, we've had that as well.
We're not had
conceding.
We've not had Viduka.
We have had Viduka.
There we have. Fuck.
1 minute left on the clock.
Why can't I think of any of my own players now? No, this can't happen to me. No. Alvaro Negredo. Alvaro Negredo on the buzzer. 2-2 draw.
Jim.
Christian Stuani.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Martin Deroon.
Ben Gibson.
Ben Gibson. Oh, who else is it? Right, I hate this game because I can't do it on the spot. Knowing there's a clock on me.
There's about 15 seconds left on the clock, and it's James in the lead to take a 3-0 lead.
You're just going to keep winning. I've got beaten on Borough. How's this happening? Mallory Martin.
Chris Gillen.
5.
Chris Boyd.
4.
2. Oh, fuck.
1.
Roger.
That's the buzzer.
Oh.
That's the buzzer. That is the buzzer. Let's have a quick look at what players you could have picked
We were very on the edge of Barclays there because championship. I can't. But
for Borough, it happened. Players you could have had. Nobody mentioned Mido in that game. Nobody mentioned Gary O'Neill, Andrew Taylor, Justin Hoyt, Marvin Emnes, Afonso Alves, Robert Huth, Mohamed
Alves.
We did have Alves.
All right. Mohamed Shawky wasn't mentioned. Marlon
Shawky.
Ross Turnbull, Matthew Bates, Tony McMahon.
Matty Bates. I've probably told this story, but in a pub in Eaglescliffe before a game, before the playoff semi-final last year, my mate's dad came outside and went, "Hey, you know Matty Bates is in there?" I went, "You're joking." Walked in and went, "Oh, Matthew, this means nothing to you. Sorry, mate. However, you were in my backroom staff for my lockdown football manager save. We won everything together. You were my reserves coach. Thank you, Matthew, for this. Can I buy you a pint?" And then he told me that he used to play it that much that his wife said if he didn't stop playing it and uninstall it that she'd leave him. So.
Oh wow. That'd be the 33rd registered divorce.
There we go.
Manager. Yeah.
I scraped through on Chris Boyd. Fuck me.
It's phenomenal. Yeah. That's a book title.
I don't like this game. We should stop playing this game because I forget every player.
I'm
ever
very,
existed.
very fond of seeing the brains
Brilliant
ticking
game.
and-
Fionn, I thought at one stage you were going to do us both on with just without leaving keepers.
No, I know.
I thought,
I just thought, oh no, I won't go for it. And then as soon as I said a minute, I was like, oh fuck. Oh, everyone left my. Do you know? Just everyone leaves your head. That's that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, forgetting your lines. Basically, like forgetting your lines.
So get me the contract still. There we go. Get me that contract. I'll forget my lines.
It's 2-1. It's 2-1. You clawed one back.
We do have the potential of chucking in. Do you remember hymns with a short explanation, or I'll leave that to you two if you want to.
We'll do that. We'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
I just wanted to ask very quickly, Chris. Obviously, you mentioned you're going to Upton Park in your youth. I don't know if you've been to the London Stadium, but like, obviously, there's a lot of discernible differences. Do you think that it will ever reach the heights of Upton Park, or do you think that's too far gone?
Well, no, I haven't been to the London Stadium, and I don't really, because obviously I'm not a West Ham fan, and my old man doesn't go down there anymore. So I can't see a reason to. And the burned into my mind of like listening to the atmosphere as Paul Ince played for Man United, and just listening to like what a crowd who all hate the same person, what that feels like. You don't forget stuff like that.
A club that looks fondly upon Paul Ince.
He played for Borough.
What is there a club that looks fondly on him?
I'd say Borough do. I don't think anybody else holds any ill will.
Man United do, don't they?
No.
Have you
Liverpool.
Have you ever been to Anfield?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have. That was my first game at Anfield was watching us lose 2-1 to QPR. John Barnes started in midfield, and we lost to a goal from Kevin Gallen.
Wow.
QPR.
The dark days.
Oh. Bloody hell.
Wonderful.
What would you say is your favourite footballing memory, Chris? What's it of all time, or just recently, or whatever?
My favourite footballing memory. I mean, you can't really beat.
Narrow it down to one.
Gerrard winning the FA Cup final with a goal that it should almost be impossible.
Yeah.
Like the physics of it, as you see him hit it, you think, well, the keeper's going to get to it. It's so far away. It's like, how is it still going at that height, like without touching the ground?
You couldn't script it, could you, Chris?
No, I couldn't do it, mate. Couldn't do it. I also quite enjoyed watching Joey Barton refuse to get sent off.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's always nice watching utter cunts like refuse to go down easily. Lee Bowyer, watching Lee Bowyer, just anything bad happen to him.
Passes as a Barclaysman as well.
Yeah.
Another question for you, Chris. Another one that might excite James as well, and it's a bit slightly off topic with the Barclaysman trend. But what's your favourite international tournament of all time?
Le Tournoi, mate. Le Tournoi.
Wow.
Roberto Carlos. There you go.
Wow.
I think it's everyone's. I think it's everyone's first.
Yeah.
I do have a feeling with the tournaments though. It's everyone's sort of first one they were like properly aware of.
I'm old enough to remember watching live Diana Ross try and kick the ball into the goal in America, and she missed. But they put the preset up.
Only just though.
Yeah, it went wide because of her high heels, and the goal went boom. It was just comical. It was typical.
That's soccer in America.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I'm just wondering, Chris. You know, if sort of Broadway or the Actors Guild, or if there's any sort of production company out there are ready for a kind of Barclays TV show. Or a sort of Barclays anthology series where you could sort of play a different Barclaysman
every week,
each week. I don't know if that's something you want to pitch to the guys. I don't know if that's something you want to pitch to the guys at HBO.
Well, James, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think what your success on Instagram showed is that there is a market for this, and it's huge.
There you go.
I think there is a few quid in that, and a really funny show. Who would you play in that?
Oh, I'm quite meek.
There's Ferdinand.
Jesus
Let's
Christ.
Who, sorry?
Les Ferdinand, you'd be great. Like it's a sort of police presence. Like it's just a strength to anchor the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a sort of I don't know if you remember do you remember the Liverpool defender Soritos Kyriakos?
I do.
I think I could have a brief cameo with him, walk in the changing room, realise I'm in the wrong place, walk out again, boom, done. Oh, sorry. Look directly into the camera. You've ruined it. This has been amazing. We could talk for bloody hours. I can't believe this is happening. In all honesty, that we've managed to reach Tinseltown. Yeah.
Yeah, the truth is that the world is divided neatly into two types of people. There is one type of people who you could go 3, 2, 1, Pascal Chimbonda.
Yeah.
And they would crease up in laughter. They let you see Fionn where he would laugh. And there are other types of people who know who Pascal Chimbonda is, who will look at you and go, "Yeah, that's a footballer who played. What did he?"
Yeah.
And the world is divided between those two people.
Yes.
And
That's what
when you find your people online,
Yeah.
The people who will fill that conversation in for the next 20 to 30, possibly hours.
Yeah.
Of
2009 PFA player of the team of the season.
Yeah, the right back in that team. Do you, in your opinion or anyone else's opinion, Chris, have any football lookalikes for yourself?
yeah, I do get a couple. My mates give me shit for it all the time. What's his name? He's a Leicester defender, Yannick Vestergaard.
Oh yeah.
Yannick Vestergaard a little bit.
I see a bit of it to go Barclays with it. I'm probably misremembering what his face looks like, but hair-wise, Christophe Dugarry, if you remember.
Yeah. Take that all day, mate.
I think if we whack an Alice band on a sort of 2007-8 Torres as well.
If we're going
that all day, yeah.
If we're going Alice band, 0405 Vodafone Diego Forlan, you know.
Well,
yeah.
If we're whacking Alice
so
band
now, Chris, is dye your hair and you've got the Diego Forlan
roll.
Yeah.
In the story of the Jabulani.
Yeah.
I looked up online how much it would be to buy a Jabulani. Turns out it's really expensive.
Yeah, they're really hard to get. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time, nobody wanted them, did they?
No.
God. Imagine that guy like one of them Bitcoin advertisers. You should have been investing in Jabulanis, man.
If we didn't know.
Yeah.
Like Fionn, who would yours be?
Which one's this, mate? Sorry.
Who's like your if you were going to play a footballer?
Yeah. Oh well, I used to call myself the North Berry Junior Football League Nikola Zigic because I was 6'1" when I was like 11. So I was amazing at football just because I was about 1.5 foot taller than everyone else. Then I think my mum and dad thought I was going to be like a basketballer or something like that, that kind of height. But then I just got to 6'4" and stopped. So it didn't no lucrative career for me. But yeah, Zigic, and then I used to get called John Carew because of similar physical attributes. Not obviously. And then the one that stuck later on in school that was a big FIFA guy. You might remember him from 2014. Well, he played for Russia anyway. Artem Zhuba. He was like 6 foot.
Yes.
Big fella.
Remind me of Zuba.
Yeah, just a big ugly cunt, mate.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Football Manager loved Artem Zuba.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't
he? You could get him out of Russia.
Difficult.
Well, not paying Zenit St. Petersburg sanctions money to get him. Come on, Artem.
Should we chuck our three? Do you remember Imzin before we?
Yeah, let's go on.
Go.
I'll go very quickly. Mine's West Ham loansman. Not as any sort of sold loans, but sorry, that's awful.
Karen Brady's apprentice strikes again.
West Ham loanee, David Demichel. He had 30 appearances on loan for West Ham, scored 4 times, and to back up, to use Michael as fact checking, like you told me, he scored the first goal under Zola's reign. One of those players who just sounds like he was going to be good and then just wasn't, but a Barclaysman.
That was a peak era for West Ham, wasn't it, as well? Because I'm sure people remember they didn't have a shirt sponsor, so they just stuck a big white square on there and put the squad numbers on it.
Yeah, it was all squad numbers.
When XL Airlines went bust,
Yeah. It was like when West Brom had 999 on the front of the shirt, and fans would ring it and say, "My football team's in crisis." Lovely stuff.
I've gone with someone who made his debut replacing Tunshai in a win for Middlesbrough against Tottenham. And in the 86th minute, he accidentally sliced a shot, it hit a defender on the knee, and provided an assist for Mido to win. And it's Didier Degard.
Didier Degard, what a player! I saw actually last time I was in Bury on the way back to the train station. There was like an 11-year-old girl with a really washed out, oversized Degard top that it just obviously couldn't be bothered buying a new one. Right, can I have that?
Yeah.
Didn't that inspire the tweet to say that Didier Degard sounds like the beginning of Wakefield Saturday Night?
No,
yeah, phenomenal.
As well, the weirdest place I've ever seen a Boris shirt was in Tbilisi. Like a guy wearing like a Garmin 2011 top, like the A had gone, the M had gone, so it was like grin and like half a badge. But it was but I walked up to him and went, "Hey mate, Borough," and then he just looked at me like he was about to stab me because I think he'd probably just got it from a charity shop or something. But there you go.
Nicked it off the last Borough fan he killed.
Yeah. So a man that's popped up in this as well, just an interesting one, because Didier Degard spent a lot of his time playing for Middlesbrough injured. I don't know how this quite happens in a challenge, but in February 2009, Lee Cattermole tackled him and ruptured his medial ligament and tore his quadricep in the same challenge. So that's got to be some kind of animalistic tackle, which is associated with Lee Cattermole. But that is an injury, isn't it?
Not to bring the tone down, but if there's a player called Chris Whelpdale, which is a very funny surname considering what happened to him, playing for Gillingham, once had his scrotum split by a tackle. So yeah, that's one for the.
There is Steve Bruce when he used to play for Norwich. There's a famous story about when I think his tackle came out of his shorts on the side, but you can't find anything of that anyway. That would be a viral sensation, but I think it's in his book. He was running around a bit after because shorts were short back then.
There's one as Zidane where it's an absolute fucking pork sword falling out.
Bobby Moore's the famous one, isn't it? In his photo with Pele.
No.
Yeah.
Pele later going on to advertise Viagra.
Yeah. Who saw that coming?
My remembering will be Theodoros Zagorakis, Leicester, and Greece 04 Euros.
Yes, Zagorakis.
And I didn't remember him until that came up. That was a problem. Yeah, that's the aim of that.
Do you know he's a former member of the European Parliament?
Oh yeah, there you go. MEP for Greece. Oh yeah, I think I googled that and then found out he was like a right.
He's not Golden Dawn, is he?
Yeah, yeah. I felt like he's like. I think he's like he was like the dead anti-Varoufakis. So I was like, oh, I don't like you anymore, Zagorakis, but not quite a Nazi. So
never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
You say that, Chris, but we've done that today. James, do you want to wrap that up?
Exactly. What a hero, Chris O'Shea.
Do you mean that Canute is actually in the room?
That is our surprise to you, Chris. He'll be knocking on your door in about 3 minutes.
Through the keyhole with Canute.
I suppose we should probably, the power of football to bring these two worlds together is unbelievable. I mean, like I said, if you'd have told me that this would be happening 10 years ago whilst I was sitting my A levels, I'd have spat on the floor. But this is absolutely phenomenal. Chris, thank you so much for dedicating time. And
thanks for having me, lads. Absolutely brilliant.
I suppose what have you got coming up, and where can people find you?
Even though you're bringing the entire audience to this.
Yeah.
I very much doubt that, mate. I don't know how much my audience and Premier League football from around the 2010s
I'm sure
crossover.
all the ladies watching Frank Kadru's draw Frank and Drew's
Frank and Drew's
segment
draw?
for next week.
There's a fucking another idea. For a Western with Frank Cadrew's draw.
Cadrew's draw. Yes.
I was thinking about his bedside cabinet and what could be in it, but yeah.
See, when you get in the room with creative minds like these, the ideas they flow like water.
Yeah.
Like a nice red.
Any upcoming Netflix dramas or films?
Yeah, so where can people find what you're coming up?
No, mate. So we just had a strike, actually. The industry just had a strike. So in terms of upcoming, not an awful lot. I'm sort of writing and developing my own stuff, and taking the time to do that, which is actually a really cool thing. I'm sure you all know, which this is probably the result of exactly that, and quite inspiring for it. But yeah, so I mean, all my stuff's on Netflix at the moment. I think all the Riverdale and You and stuff is on Netflix.
Actually, turn them in, yeah.
Oh yeah. I also met Robbie Keane when he was in LA. Just put that in there.
I thought you was going to say when he was in You then.
Wow. Wow.
What was he doing? Is it LA Galaxy?
He was lying down outside a shopping centre as his missus went in there. And I said, "Oh, hi, Robbie. Big fan, obviously Liverpool fan." And he was playing for the Galaxy at the time. And I was like, "Oh, how's it going? You scoring goals?" And never has. Yeah, it's been all right. Sounded so much like fuck off.
Well, he is Morrissey's cousin.
Is it?
He genuinely is. He's Morrissey's cousin. Sorry. I'm doing a great job of wrapping this up. Apologies.
Go, guys. Anyway,
go and follow Chris on Instagram as well. And yeah, I genuinely, I'm beaming it. I cannot thank you enough for spending time with us.
And you're welcome back on anytime.
Anytime you want, mate. Anytime you want.
What I think we should do as well is we should put a collaboration together where you and James do a little short naming a football player, potentially.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to do one with my missus, like just ape your style completely, but it ended up going like, "Hey, babe, do you remember?" And you just hear her go, "I don't want to fucking play this game."
That's a shot in itself.
I
think we should put one of them together and pop that on Instagram and TikToks, and you two discuss between you what that should be. But I think that'd be really good.
I would love
really
that.
Good. I'm not
like a couple's date, but we end up talking about footballers, and they just sit there bored.
That's perfect. Yeah,
lovely stuff. You can follow us on Instagram, on
Twitter, TikTok, all of it.
Yeah, the CULTRAS pod. Like and subscribe to on the YouTube as well. And yeah, we'll see you next week for another one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Chris, again, mate. We're here.
Cheers. Ludek McCloskey.
That's how he's going to cut.